Hello, dear viewers. Today, we will focus on honing your listening and speaking abilities and at the same time as will acquire interesting vocabulary and expressions. Our story for today is Catherine's transfer to a new high school. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Catherine. She was a beautiful young girl with big dreams and a kind heart. Catherine had spent her entire life in a small town where everyone knew each other. But one day, everything changed. Catherine's family had to move to a new city because of her dad's job. At first, Catherine was excited about the adventure of moving to a new place, but when she thought about starting at a new high school, she felt nervous. On her first day at the new high school, Catherine felt like a small fish in a big pond. The school was huge compared to her old one, and there were so many students she didn't know. Catherine wandered through the hallways, feeling lost and alone. In class, Catherine struggled to keep up with the new lessons. The material seemed harder, and she missed her old friends who would always help her out. During lunchtime, Catherine sat alone in the cafeteria, feeling out of place among the bustling crowd. But Catherine didn't give up. She knew that making friends and adjusting to the new school would take time. So, she decided to step out of her comfort zone. She smiled at other students in her classes, introduced herself, and joined clubs that interested her. Slowly but surely, Catherine started to make friends. She discovered that there were other students who were new to the school too, and they bonded over their shared experiences. Catherine also found that she had a talent for art, and she joined the school's art club where she met people who shared her passion. As the days turned into weeks, Catherine began to feel more at home in her new school. She found her place among her classmates, and she even started to excel in her classes with hard work and determination. Moving to a new school had been challenging for Catherine, but she had faced it with courage and perseverance. She learned that change can be scary, but it can also lead to new opportunities and adventures. And most importantly, she discovered that home isn't just a place, it's wherever you find friendship, kindness, and love. As Catherine settled into her new high school, she felt a growing desire to discover more about herself. She realized that amidst the hustle and bustle of high school life, she had the chance to explore her interests and emotions like never before. One day, Catherine stumbled upon the drama club rehearsal. Intrigued, she decided to join. Acting allowed her to express herself in ways she never thought possible. Through her roles on stage, Catherine discovered hidden talents and a newfound confidence. But Catherine's journey of self-discovery didn't stop there. She also explored other interests, such as music and sports. She joined the school choir and found joy in singing her heart out. On the soccer field, she discovered her competitive spirit and teamwork skills. As Catherine delved deeper into her passions, she began to understand herself better. She realized that she didn't have to fit into a certain mold or please everyone around her. Instead, she embraced her uniqueness and celebrated her individuality. Along the way, Catherine faced challenges and setbacks. There were moments of self-doubt and fear of judgment from others. But with the support of her friends and teachers, she found the strength to persevere. Through it all, Catherine learned that self-discovery is a journey, not a destination. It's about embracing who you are, exploring your passions, and staying true to yourself, no matter what. And as she continued to navigate the complexities of high school life, Catherine knew that she was on the right path to discovering her true identity. As Catherine continued her journey in the new high school, she longed to find friendship and belonging. At first, she felt like an outsider, unsure of where she fit in the social fabric of the school. But then, one day during lunchtime, Catherine met Sarah, a kind-hearted girl who invited her to sit at her table. Sarah introduced Catherine to her group of friends, and soon, Catherine felt a sense of belonging she hadn't felt since moving to the new city. With Sarah and her friends by her side, Catherine's days became brighter. They laughed together, shared secrets, and supported each other through both good times and bad. Catherine finally felt like she had found her place in the school. However, there were still moments when Catherine grappled with feelings of loneliness and exclusion. Sometimes, she noticed cliques forming around her, and she wondered if she truly belonged. But whenever those doubts crept in, Sarah and her friends were there to reassure her. Through her experiences, Catherine learned that true friendship isn't about popularity or fitting in, it's about finding people who accept you for who you are. With Sarah and her friends by her side, Catherine realized that she didn't have to be like everyone else to be happy. She had found her tribe, and together, they faced the ups and downs of high school life with strength and solidarity. And in that bond, Catherine found the true meaning of friendship and belonging. As Catherine settled into her new high school, she couldn't help but notice the emphasis placed on beauty and appearance. Everywhere she looked, students seemed to be striving to meet certain standards of attractiveness set by society. At first, Catherine felt the pressure to conform to these beauty standards. She compared herself to her classmates, wishing she could be as effortlessly stylish or as conventionally pretty as they seemed. She spent hours agonizing over her appearance, trying to mimic the latest trends and hairstyles. But no matter how much she tried, Catherine never felt like she measured up. She noticed flaws in herself that she hadn't paid attention to before: the freckles sprinkled across her nose, the gap between her front teeth, the way her hair never seemed to cooperate. As Catherine became more fixated on her perceived shortcomings, her self-esteem began to plummet. She started to avoid mirrors, afraid of what she might see. She became self-conscious in social situations, convinced that everyone was judging her appearance. It wasn't until Catherine met Maya, a classmate who radiated confidence despite not fitting society's beauty standards, that she began to question her obsession with appearance. Maya taught Catherine that true beauty comes from within, that it's not about how you look on the outside, but how you feel about yourself on the inside. With Maya's guidance, Catherine started to embrace her unique features and quirks. She stopped trying to hide her freckles or cover up her gap tooth with braces. Instead, she learned to love herself just the way she was. Slowly but surely, Catherine's self-esteem began to improve. She realized that she didn't need to conform to society's narrow definition of beauty to feel good about herself. She was beautiful just the way she was, flaws and all. Through her journey of self-acceptance, Catherine learned that true beauty isn't about perfection, it's about confidence, kindness, and authenticity. And as she embraced her true self, she discovered a beauty that no amount of makeup or hairstyling could ever match. As Catherine settled into her new high school, she couldn't help but notice the stark differences in privilege and socioeconomic status among the students. Some of her classmates seemed to have everything they could ever want: designer clothes, the latest gadgets, and fancy cars, while others struggled to make ends meet. At first, Catherine didn't think much of these disparities. But as she spent more time at the school, she realized how deeply they impacted the students' experiences and relationships. She noticed how students from wealthier families seemed to have more opportunities and resources available to them. They could afford to travel during school breaks, participate in expensive extracurricular activities, and hire tutors to help them with their studies. Meanwhile, students from less privileged backgrounds often had to work part-time jobs to support their families or couldn't afford to participate in the same activities as their wealthier peers. These disparities created invisible barriers between the students, making it difficult for them to truly understand each other's experiences. Catherine felt torn between the two worlds. She came from a middle-class family and sometimes felt out of place among her wealthier classmates, but she also empathized with those who struggled to make ends meet. As Catherine navigated these dynamics, she realized how privilege and entitlement could shape people's perceptions and behaviors. She witnessed how some students flaunted their wealth, oblivious to the struggles of their less fortunate peers, while others felt ashamed of their economic status and tried to hide it. But through it all, Catherine remained determined to bridge the divide between the students. She reached out to those from different socioeconomic backgrounds, seeking to understand their perspectives and build meaningful relationships based on empathy and mutual respect. In doing so, Catherine learned that true wealth isn't measured by material possessions, but by the depth of one's character and the strength of their relationships. And as she worked to break down the barriers of privilege and entitlement at her high school, she discovered the power of empathy and solidarity in creating a more inclusive and compassionate community. As Catherine discovered just how competitive it could be. From academics to extracurricular activities, everyone seemed to be striving to be the best. Catherine felt the pressure to excel. Classmates were always studying and competing for top grades, and Catherine didn't want to fall behind. She spent long hours poring over textbooks and completing assignments, determined to prove herself academically. But the competition didn't end there. Outside of class, Catherine found herself juggling numerous extracurricular activities, from sports teams to clubs to volunteer work. While these activities were meant to be enjoyable and enriching, they often felt like yet another arena for competition. Catherine also became aware of the social hierarchies that existed within the school. There were cliques and groups, each vying for status and recognition. Catherine found herself navigating these dynamics carefully, trying to find her place without getting caught up in the drama and gossip. Despite the challenges, Catherine remained determined to achieve her goals and aspirations. She set her sights on getting into a top college and pursuing her dreams, no matter what obstacles stood in her way. Along the journey, Catherine learned valuable lessons about resilience and perseverance. She realized that competition could be both motivating and overwhelming, and that it was important to strike a balance between ambition and self-care. Through it all, Catherine never lost sight of what was truly important to her. She cherished the friendships she made, the experiences she had, and the lessons she learned along the way. And as she looked towards the future with hope and determination, Catherine knew that she was ready to face whatever challenges came her way, armed with the lessons of competition and ambition that high school had taught her. As Catherine settled into her new high school, she couldn't help but be captivated by its stunning surroundings. The school was nestled amidst lush greenery, with towering trees and colorful flowers dotting the landscape. Catherine found herself drawn to the beauty of nature all around her. She would often take walks around the school grounds during breaks, breathing in the fresh air and marveling at the sights and sounds of the natural world. The tranquil setting provided a welcome escape from the hustle and bustle of high school life. But the influence of nature went beyond mere aesthetics. It also seemed to shape the interactions and experiences of the students. Catherine noticed how spending time outdoors brought people together, fostering a sense of camaraderie and connection. Students would gather under the shade of a tree to study together or relax after a long day of classes. As Catherine immersed herself in the natural surroundings of the school, she couldn't help but feel a sense of renewal and growth. The beauty of the landscape served as a metaphor for her own journey of self-discovery and personal development. Just like the flowers that bloomed amidst the trees, Catherine began to blossom and thrive in her new environment. She found inspiration in the beauty of nature, drawing strength from its resilience and vitality. Through her experiences at the beautiful high school, Catherine learned to appreciate the power of nature to nurture the soul and uplift the spirit. She discovered that amidst the chaos of high school life, there was always a sanctuary waiting to be found in the embrace of the natural world. And as she looked towards the future with newfound optimism and wonder, Catherine knew that she would carry the lessons of nature with her wherever she went, guiding her on the path to growth and fulfillment. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel and comment if you like this type of video. We meet in a new video with a new topic.